Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do your December the 11th spiritual principle a day in a meditation. I'm brought to you by Hope Through Navigation, and this is our H.O.O.D Recovery Services. H.O.O.D is an acronym H.O.O.D that stands for Hope Offered on Demand. You may reach me at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. Hope you're doing well this morning. If you hear long pauses in the meditation, it's me in the background coughing. I'm still coughing so horribly, so continue to pray if you're a praying person for my health. December the 11th spiritual principle a day in a meditation is entitled Creative Action Can Be an Inside Job. Creative action is not a mysterious procedure, although it is an inside job in rebuilding or integrating our disordered and fractured personalities. That comes from our IP number 5, Another Look. Addiction is not a way of life. Active addiction is a mess: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual disorder in the flesh. There isn't enough room on this page to list what we lose or risk losing while we were using. Our health and well-being, our loved ones, our freedom, our minds, and our keys. We've all been there. We also lost ourselves. Which selves? Exactly. Which indeed? In the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous, we often hear members say, "Out there, I was a chameleon. While we were using, we changed our behavior, even our personalities, from situation to situation, to meet our self-centered ends, to survive." That's some masterful creativity, for sure. As with all of our defects, if we flip the coin over, there's an asset on the other side. We can be as curious and adaptable as we are manipulative and self-seeking. By the same token, just as we used our creativity to survive, we can rely on it now to rebuild our lives from the inside. When we were clean, our creative efforts aren't squandered away on hiding who we are. We don't have to waste energy developing new strategies to get what we want at the cost of our sanity and everything else we stand to lose. Instead, we take a creative approach to our program of recovery and change it up when we need a reboot. In working steps, we learn who we are, who we weren't, who we're not, rather, and who we want to be. Through sharing and listening to other members, we can figure out what's broken in us, which parts can realistically be glued back together, and which can be tossed in the bin. As a result, we learn how to express who we are with integrity. We get to be our true selves in relationships with others, and in the ways we dig into work, our interests, and service. Some of us even find creative ways to keep track of those bloody keys. Today, I will look at what's messy or broken inside of me and use my imagination to identify what I could do to create some order and serenity in this brain of mine. Beautiful meditation. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the weak version of the serenity prayer. Moment of silence now, please. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. This spiritual principle of creativity. Now, I know all of us can relate to being chameleons and active addiction. And a lot of the reason why we continue to use is because prior to the moment we were standing in about to use, we had already done some things that were not acceptable to ourselves. We crossed the line, some of the things that we did for our core values and for the core values of other people. And then we use out of guilt and shame a lot of the time. I don't know about you, but my using allowed me to have a behavior that was basically a fix for all of the stuff that had gone on that I either was victim to or I victimized. Sometimes I victimize others, but most of the time I victimize myself. So, what I would like to do today, because my energy is limited with this breathing chest condition, I want to tell you that if you're listening, I love you. And I know that I may not know you, but I know one thing about you, that if you're listening, you are recovering from the disease of addiction. And I can thoroughly relate to that. And I understand that what we're recovering from is a mind killer to begin with. It can cause us to think about all of our creative action in a negative way, how we were chameleons and the harm that we did. And then we get clean and we get here and we find out those memories don't go away. The harm that we caused doesn't go away. And now we're not using, and we really don't want to go back to the active using and the lifestyle, the animalistic level of living. We don't want to go back to that, but we are struggling to survive sometimes. And I just want to say, you're welcome here in Narcotics Anonymous. I don't represent NA as a whole, but I am a member and I am a loyal member. I'm a faithful member with substantial amount of clean time. And I continue to work this program. I continue to work the steps. I continue to be of service. And I want to say to you, welcome. We love you. And you're going to see, just like we do, we can flip that coin and see assets on the other side. So today, we want to think about who we are in a positive way. Our creativity can be used positively, just as we used it negatively. It can be used positively. I believe in you, and I know that you can do it. Today, when you get done listening to this, I want you to find the closest mirror and say to yourself, I'm creative and I'm going to use that spiritual principle positively. And you say that to yourself in the mirror as many times as you need to until a smile comes across your face. My name is Mighty Stream. Today is December 11th. I want you to make December the 11th the most beautiful December 11th that you've ever lived. And I want for you to have a beautiful day, a creative day on purpose.